Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be doing a challenge, and this challenge is related to hashtag Team Tree. I watched a bunch of videos this morning. I think Backstein on Twitter tagged me and Zionic about it, and I took a look at it. I saw Reversal did an excellent challenge version of it, and basically what I want to do is I want to donate to hashtag Team Tree. Their goal is to plant 20 million trees by donating $20 million. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to do my own spin and version of this, since my channel is mostly about PvP right now. Is what I'm going to do is I'm going to battle with 3 tree type Pokemon for the next hour, using only 3 tree type Pokemon. I'm gonna have people send me their recommended battles. They won't know that I'm gonna be using only tree type Pokemon. And the tree type Pokemon that I am going to be using is obviously Tropius. So I'm just gonna rename this to Team Tree, and I am going to use, of course I had to, Sudowoodo. I'm going to power it up. It's a pretty decent one. And basically, I'm hoping to get, between 10 and 12 battles in. Hopefully I don't overpower it up. I'm hoping between 10 and 12 battles. And hopefully I win, more than half of them. It'd be great if I win them all. But we will see. I think this is going to power up to either exactly 1500, I think. Yeah, there you go. And I'm going to double move in, and I think I definitely want Rock Slide. Yes, I do. Okay, perfect. All right, let's go ahead. Team Tree. Again, these people won't know that I'm going to be doing it, and normally I would use my Confusion Executor, but unfortunately I don't have one, so I am going to be using this... Yeah, I'm going to use this execute instead. I traded my Confusion Executor, so I'm going to use this one instead, and I'm going to set up a team so it can be nice and quick so I can get as many battles as I can. And let's go ahead and do this. Team Tree. So I'm going to lead with something like this. I think this will be pretty good. And we'll call this hashtag Team Tree. So I'm gonna record these battles, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna speed up the clip, and then I'm gonna cover these battles in a shout test type format, and then I'm gonna also have like a tracker thing to see how much I'm gonna donate, and I encourage you to donate as well. But I will see you. Well, you're gonna see this in the next like 10 seconds, anyways. Now on to the battle portion. Again, I tweeted out saying that people send me the recommended team. What they didn't know, I messaged them after the battle, just so that they know that I'll be using 3 tree-like Pokemon. In this case, Sudowoodo, Tropius, debatably tree-like, but close enough. And then Execute, because I traded away my Executor, and Execute turns into a tree. So imagine it's like the tree seed that they're going to be planting. Again, all the proceeds will go to the Arbor Day Foundation for every $1, and I'll include a link in the description. For every $1 that you donate, they will plant 1 tree. The goal is to get to 20 million. But let's go ahead, take a look at these battles. I think I sped it up. I battled from like 753 to 853. So my first battle is up against Shagness, one of the great community supporters. I know she's going to stream eventually. I know she's at least looking to set up. So this is a very favorable matchup for me. Sudowoodo versus Celio. Celio knows Powder Snow. Body Slam is typically the moveset. So I'm like a very favorable situation right now. So not too worried. And a lot of people actually don't know Sudowoodo's moveset. It has Counter, Rock Slide, Earthquake, which is a pretty amazing moveset. And then I'm going to go for this Rock Slide, hopefully to get a shield. Do get a shield, which is great. Obviously Lucario has Counter as well and does a ton of damage. She's done enough counters at this point in time to do a Shadow Ball. So I do decide to shield. so I can farm up a little bit of energy. And I don't mind the matchup Celio and Tropius, just because I can get to this. I'm pretty close to this Leaf Blade right now, and able to take it out. And let's see what she has in the back. She has looks like a Bite, Alolan Raticate, so it's doing a ton of damage to me. But I do have Sudowoodo in the back, and Sudowoodo's counters do double super effective damage, and it just absolutely destroys Sudowoodo, an absolute monster. So I take game number 1. That's $10 to that foundation. That's 10 trees that planted. Next up, I'm against Ramberto, one of the great young players in PvP. Was a Season 1 Ace ranked trainer, one of the West Coast Ultimate Showdown competitors. He hits me with Play Rough. I battled him yesterday, so I already knew his moveset. But I wouldn't shield any of Donphan's moveset necessarily, because it has Heavy Slam, Earthquake, and Powder Snow. And this is not good for me, because Drifblim does very well against the rest of my team, because my third Pokemon is Execute. So I feel I feel good that he didn't shield. That actually worked out really well for me. It's a good thing that Ramberto doesn't shield, because honestly, if he would have shielded these charge moves, he would have just ran through the rest of my team. Well, I might have been able to get to, let's see, and we simultaneous KO, which works out well for me. I can see his last Pokemon, and then I'm like, okay, I feel okay in this matchup. I have Execute with Confusion and Seed Bomb, which will do a lot of damage. Likely he has Ice Beam on his shiny Azumarill. Looks quite nice. He's probably okay, let's see what he's trying to do. So I'm gonna shield just because I can get off another Seed Bomb, and I am gonna go for this Seed Bomb. Let's see if he does shield. He does, and I feel okay. I can shield and get to this last Seed Bomb. I am able to beat him to the charge move, which works out quite well for me. And then I'm not going to shield. Oh, actually, I do shield. Okay, I'm not sure why I said I wasn't going to shield. And then I'm hoping to faint down with Confusions, but you could tell that he was over farming, and I think he was like a little too aggressive on the over farming, because it allowed me to get that additional Seed Bomb off. And as well, I'm going to get to this. Even if hit him with Ice Beam, I would be fine. He would have had to hit. The only way he could KO me is with Hydro Pump. So GG, I take match number 2, and that's $20 to charity. And next I'm going up against Blue Crab Cards, one of my channel supporters, so I appreciate the support. Been a long time supporter of this channel, so it's definitely helped me get this far. So I'm in this matchup, and I'm just checking if it's Confusion or if it's Water Gun. I think either way, I would have switched out to Sudowoodo, no, to Tropius. But it does help me a little bit, and I expect this to be Ice Beam, which would deal double super effective damage. And I do shield, and he comes in with Steelix. This is a favorable matchup for me, but totally understandable why he would come into Steelix, just because it's actually a pretty bad matchup with Sudowoodo, since it would deal super effective damage with counter. And these crunches are not doing a lot of damage. So I'm just gonna, I really want to switch out, and I'm gonna come in with Sudowoodo, and I really shouldn't have fell for this, because I had a feeling it was crunch, but I'm like, if this is Earthquake, then I'm absolutely going to lose. So now I'm just waiting for his last Pokemon. It ends up being Toxicroak. I was actually hoping that he wouldn't know what Sudowoodo's moveset is. So I tried to hit an Earthquake. That didn't work. And I probably could have tried to go for Earthquake, but I ended up not making a difference. So he hits me with Mud Bomb, which would deal super effective damage. And I actually think he has Poison Jab on his I'm just noticing this now, actually, on his Toxicroak, which is probably why my Sudowoodo survived a little bit longer than it actually should have. and this is not good for me. So I'm like, please do not hit me with Ice Beam. Absolutely do not hit me with Ice Beam. Hits me with Water Ball. So I'm like, thank goodness. I definitely would have lost. I don't know if I definitely would have lost, but it certainly would have been a lot closer. So I'm able to take it out, and that's another $10 to charity. Again, I messaged these players afterwards saying that I was doing this. So, anyways, we're on to match number 4 against Wild Susan Boyle, the top ranked player in Canada for season 1. My personal tournament prep coach, and I'm going to go for the Earthquake, and I'm banking that he doesn't know the moveset. And I KO the Steelix, which actually feels so good. And then he comes in with Skarmory. This is actually a pretty okay matchup for me as well. I do have to be careful of the Flash Cannons, but I can hit with Counter and Rock Slide with neutral damage, and these Air Slashes are gonna deal neutral damage as well. But this Skarmory is actually a really big danger for the rest of my team because it beats Tropius and Execute pretty handily. So I'm like pretty thankful he didn't shield the first one, because it left me in a pretty dire situation. And I'm willing to shield just because I can farm down. And let's see, he comes back with Moltres. If I had a little bit more health, this would be a really good matchup for me, but I don't. And so I switch out, and I'm like, I don't think they can get what's it called, a Sky Attack on a Great League one, so I feel okay in this matchup. It seemed too early for Overheat. Ends up being Ancient Power. I get one more, and then this is another Ancient Power. If he would have got boost on the first one, then I would have been a lot trickier of a situation for me. But I'm able to hit this Confusion and take match number 4, and that's $40 for charity. And next we're going up against C9 Gotham, season 1 ace ranked trainer, playing out of Omaha. Really tough competitor, does a lot of like weird Pokemon. So here I need to check the moveset, and then he has Powder Snow, so it's actually a favorable matchup for me. And he comes in with Steelix, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's an interesting switch in into Sudowoodo, and I'm almost able to KO it. And I know this is going to be a crunch, so I'm not going to shield. This Abomasnow is actually a little bit of a problem for me in the backhand, but not too much. And I was hoping to hit that Rock Slide before his charge move, and this charge move would definitely KO me. Energy Ball is a terrible move, but it still does. It would still deal super effective damage to me. So I'm hoping to KO. It takes like 7-8 Powder Snows, and then I'm going to go for Earthquake. Just to guarantee it. And then I'm going to come into Tropius. And this is a really huge decision for me. If I don't shield correctly, if I didn't shield that, I definitely would have lost this match. That was a huge shield for me, just because a lot of times people like to go Acid Spray. But yeah, that was a gigantic shield. I can't believe I was able to correctly predict that. Because majority of the time I don't shield on the first charge move from Alolan Muck, and it would have been really tough for me to win with Execute in the back. And then so I win game number 5. So that's $50 for charity. And then next up, I have Zoe 2 Dots. You guys already know Zoe 2 Dots. One of the great Pogo content creators, really into PvP as well. And I immediately switch out just because my counters are not going to do, well, they actually do neutral damage, so I probably could have stayed in. She comes in with Alolan Sandslash, and this is absolutely terrible for me for this matchup. So thankfully I was able to get a shield, and getting that shield is actually pretty big to me, because you're going to see how little damage this Leaf Blade does. And both Leaf Blade and Aerial Ace are resisted. And I think she's using this to practice, but she doesn't have it. She clearly doesn't have it double moved. So this is an okay situation for me. So I'm able to at least do a little bit more damage. And I try to switch out, but I should just committed to switching. Because I wanted to farm up this Alolan Sand Slash. Alolan Sand Slash is double weak to counter, so you can see I just basically auto delete it. Just kind of come back in with, and this is actually really bad for me. These these movesets are doing a lot of this Politoed's bubble doing a lot of damage, and this could be Earthquake, could be Surf. I don't know what its other potential moves are. And then here comes. This is not good for me because these confusions are going to deal super effective damage to me. Actually, no, they're not. I'm going to resist it, so never mind. Psychic Grass. I always forget that. But anyways, we're dealing both resisted confusion damage, and I'm going to go for Seed Bomb. Man, I make a very huge mistake here. As I try to switch out, I realize I could have just Seed Bomb there. So I'm like, oh my gosh, if she gets this Earthquake off, I am GG'd. And she was absolutely very close to an Earthquake. And I'm able to Earthquake this Politoed and take game number 6. That's $60 for charity. Next, I'm going against Cochino Mom, the leader of the hashtag Girls That PvP, an excellent battler. So this is pretty terrible for me. So I immediately switch out to Tropius. I'm going to build up a ton of energy, and she comes in with Alolan Raichu, which is an okay switch in. Obviously, Alolan Raichu is going to resist the air slashes due to its psychic typing, but it is kind of glassy. All its moves are neutral, so it's not going to do a ton of damage. So I'm just going to tank this. If this is going to be a Thunder Punch, I'm okay. If it's Wild Charge, it'd still be okay as well. And I make maybe a slight calculation error. I probably should not have shielded that because she would have to definitely do another charge move to KO me, since Thunder Shocks are not going to do a ton of damage. And let's see what she has in the back. She's obviously not going to bring back in Vileplume, so she comes in with Gardevoir, and this is a little bit confusing on this sequence here. She decides not to shield, which actually works out really well for me because I'm like, okay, I'm just going to faint down with confusions. Yeah. Anyways, so now I'm just going to faint down her Vileplume with confusion as well. If she would just hit, I could probably do a double charge move at this point in time, to be honest, but it doesn't really matter. I was going to take that match regardless. So GG, Cochino Mom. Thank you for all that you do for the community. And we take game number 7, and so that's $70 for charity. Next, we're going against Math Magician 10. Check them on Twitter. Post a lot of really great PvP tips. A lot of people really like it, and I find they're like really interesting. Really interesting tips. So I'm in a pretty terrible situation. So I switch out into Execute. They're also dealing super effective damage with these poison jabs. And this is like way too early to be any like significant charge move. So this is being Acid Spray. And really nice switch. But I was hoping to burn the shield. And like this is not good for me at all. So I'm going to go for one more Seed Bomb. Umbreon does double resist confusion from Execute, so I'm not doing very much damage at all. And I debate between going Sudowoodo or Tropius. I decide to go in with Sudowoodo, hoping to farm it down. Thankfully, it hits me with Last Resort, and these counters are definitely chunking away. And I decide to shield one of the foul plays. And really, I should have just committed to fainting down the entire way. But he has like 2 more Pokemon in the back, so I decided to Rock Slide. Hoping to get a shield. And nope, okay. And then this is not good for me at all. Here comes Togekiss. I really should have Leaf Bladed. I don't know why I went Aerial Ace. Just because Leaf Blade and Aerial Ace do about the same DPE, but it would give me, well, I guess I only get 2 off regardless. and Aerial Ice would do more damage, so maybe it worked out a little bit better for me. But this is like pretty hopeless for me. Another move that I could have considered doing was not doing the charge move and then just trying to feint down, because that one more air slash damage probably wouldn't have been enough. So GG. But I messaged him, tell him, I basically copy paste the whole thing, and he said that he would donate the $10 on behalf of beating me. So right now I'm 7-1, but that's $80 for charity, and we have some like really good matches. But that was a pretty tough team composition for me to take on. So now I'm going Sudowoodo into Blaziken. Not great for me. So I decide to switch out into Tropius. And he comes in with Bronzong. I'm like, oh, and at this point in time, I'm like, I'm about to lose 2 times in a row because I really don't have a great answer to this Bronzong. Thankfully, I built up a little bit of energy. So I'm able to spam multiple Leaf Blades. Even though they are resisted, they still do a pretty good chunk. And he's going to Psyshock me. And I'm going to hit one more Leaf Blade, hoping to draw the shield or something. He decides not to shield, and he thankfully decides to do the Psyshock here because I wasn't going to hit the Leaf Blade. I was like a little bit close, so I'm like just praying at this point in time that I can KO before another Psyshock, which I was like, after he completed that confusion, he would have the energy. So I am going to Rock Slide to try to draw the shield. And then I immediately switch out into Execute. And at this point in time, I realize that it's not Community Day Blaziken, or else he would have just Blaze Kicked me here. It's probably one that he used for Kingdom, which probably has Blaze Kick and Focus Blast. So now he has Empoleon in the bag, which is like an okay matchup. I do resist Empoleon's fast moves. These Seed Bombs are neutral because of the Steel typing, but the Confusions are resisted due to Empoleon's Steel typing. He decides not to shield, which I find was like a really odd choice, just because I'm going to shield and I just need to do one more Confusion. He goes for the Blizzard, and I go for one more Confusion, and I'm able to take it out. So that is $90 for charity. And next up, I'm against Dragon Silk. One of the best players in Canada, is currently ranked number 2 in Canada, and was one of the winners in the Sinister in the 6th. And this is a really good matchup for me. Obviously, I have to be careful of the Magnet Bombs. And he comes in with Vigoroth. It's not like I'm going to beat Magneton anyways with my charge move, so I decide to just let this Rock Slide go. And I do grab a shield, and I switch into Tropius. Tropius does resist Vigoroth's counters. Actually, a really good team, Magneton and Vigoroth. So I'm going to hit the Leaf Blade. This won't KO. So if he decides not to shield, it will do a decent chunk. So he's going to Body Slam me. It only takes 5 counters to get to a Body Slam. So even though these individual Body Slams are not doing a lot, they're definitely adding up. And I want to KO before another Body Slam comes through. Just because I have enough health that this Magneton really can't farm me up. So I'm going to let it go through. He discharges me. Magna Bomb would actually do a little bit more damage, but it would KO regardless. So I fully realize this is going to be a Magna Bomb, which would deal super effective damage. Even though Sudowoodo looks like a grass type Pokemon, it's actually a rock type Pokemon. And he comes in with Dusclops. And then this is where I'm like, I really hope he thinks Sudowoodo is like a grass type Pokemon and tries to hit me with Fire Punch. So this is actually why I let this first charge move go through. Because I'm like, Sudowoodo's like, how often do you fight a Sudowoodo? But, Dragon Silk's way too smart for that. But anyway, these Shadow Punches are not going to do a lot of damage anyways. And I'm going to go, and it's 4 hexes to the first Shadow Punch, and then 3 to the second one, just because there's like residual energy left over. Each hex generates 11 energy. 4 of them would get you to 44, minus the 35 would leave you 9 left, which means you only get 27. It's just 3 hexes afterwards. So we take that match, and now we have officially crossed the $100 mark. Thank you, Dragon Silk, for the battles. Twastel, one of the mainstays in Go Stadium. Absolutely incredible battler, but perhaps like even more influential person in PvP. So this is a really good matchup for me, just because as a rock type, I do resist the poison jabs. And he does this absolutely beautiful switch into Azumarill. And I'm going to switch out into Tropius. So it takes 5 bubbles, 5 air slashes to get to Ice Beam and... actually, no. The first one? I may be thinking wrong. No. It actually takes one more. So I realized that at this point in time, I'm like, he's like overcharged. So I'm like, I realize he doesn't have Ice Beam. So he must have Play Rough, Hydro Pump. So I'm like, beautiful. I'm just going to farm him down at this point right now. And I do go for the Aerial Ace to try to get some damage in. He correctly shields. And then just too good. Just too good right there. So I do let the crunch go through, knowing that there's a small chance I can survive. And I do survive. And that's absolutely amazing, because I'm going to be able to chip away at this Skunk Tank with a little bit of damage. And I am going to go for the counters. I am going to shield this crunch. And let's see what he does. He switches out into Swampert. And I'm hoping, like, please don't shield this. Please don't shield this. And he doesn't shield it. So I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I think I would have won anyways, because I have Execute in the back. But all I need to do at this point in time is hit one more Confusion. And then I just need to hit one more Confusion on this Skunk Tank, and I'm able to KO it. And I take match number 11. So at this point in time, I'm 10-1. But Math Magician, gracious enough to actually donate as well. And next we have Momita, former top trainer from Brighton, UK, now lives out in British Columbia, Canada, and definitely one of my most favorite scrim partners, and definitely puts up a really good fight every time I battle her. So next against Kingdra, it's a really interesting matchup. Counter and Dragon Breath are two of the most OP moves. And as you can see, these Dragon Breaths are doing a ton of damage to me. So I decide to shield, and I'm hoping to KO. So I do farm up a little bit extra, just because like I'm not going to get to another charge move. And let's see what comes out next. Next is Swampert. So I decide to switch out into Tropius to catch the Mud Bomb. And I do, or the Surf, either one would have been okay for me. And she switches into Steelix, recognizing that it's a pretty bad matchup for her. But at this point in time, I've like already won. I can like beat the Steelix and the weakened Marsh Stomp with just Tropius if I wanted to. Just because unless that Swampert has... Not Swampert, Marsh Stomp. I always mix up the names. So I am going to go for the charge move to try to burn the shield. And she does shield. I'm going to let it go just because I have a Sudowoodo that I'm going to switch into. And she switched in late. So I'm going to be in a good position. And then I'm just going to Earthquake this Marsh Stomp. And I take... game number 12, and that's $120 for charity. And we're going to move on to game number 13 against Cody, KL, TD. Second place in the East Coast Showdown. Was super close at taking down Valor Ash. Had an incredible run at the end. Really, really tough battler. Again, a longtime supporter of the channel as well. Really great guy. Really great person in the community. So at this point in time, I'm like, he's probably going to go Silverwind. And because he hasn't switched out, that must mean that my Tropius is like, must be pretty important. And he's obviously really good. He recognizes this is going to be a Leaf Blade. But I am able to KO. So let's see what he has in the back. He has Haunter. Which I do have to worry about a little bit, but I do have an Execute with Confusion, so I'm just going to try to chunk away at it, and he immediately switches out into Wigglytuff, and I'm like, I really need to hit this a second seed bomb, and he's able to KO me. So I'm like, okay, now what I need to do is to come in with Sudowoodo, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna definitely lose if I get hit by Shadow Ball from Haunter. So I let this go, just so I can protect myself a little bit, and then I go for Rock Slide, and I'm able to take out this Haunter and win match number 13. And right now I'm 12-1. I'm rolling. These trees are OP. Say in the comments, trees are OP. Like, Sudowoodo, so amazing. Anyways, we go into our last match, going up against Nightwing. And he has I actually thought it was going to be Bubble. And he switches into Donphan, which I found was so weird. So anyways, Tropius versus Poliwrath is not a good matchup regardless. But Nightwing, a leader of the Pokemon Go Battle League. Not anything related to Go Battle League, but really, really great guy. Super funny guy if you ever hear him talk. So anyways, I'm going to go for this Leaf Blade. And I make a pretty critical mistake. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to shield. I could shield and burn his last shield, but he ends up going for Power Punch. So then, stupid me here, I'm like, he must have Power Punch Hydro Pump. Or else why wouldn't he just go for the Ice Punch first? And he gets an Ice Punch later. I was like, oh, well, that was really dumb of me. And I do have to be careful of this Ice Punch. And let's see if I'm able to take it out. I do go for the Seed Bomb. Because I don't want to have to shield another Ice Punch. And I switch out into Sudowoodo to catch the Ice Punch. And he does Ice Punch me, which does neutral damage. Still does like a decent chunk. And he comes in with Venusaur. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am absolutely in a ton of trouble. But I do go for Earthquake. And so many people don't know that Sudowoodo has Earthquake. It just does an absolute ton of damage. So I'm going to leave it. And then I'm going to have Execute, finish it off. And then I'm going to take match number 14. And that's $140 to charity. And actually I did already donate because I already knew how much I was going to donate. There you go, $140, 140 trees donated to charity. Really great cause. If you do have any spare funds, I recommend that you donate as well. And as well, I'm going to put an additional challenge. If this video gets to 500 likes, I will match this donation and donate another $140 to this really great charity. Really great cause. And thank you, Reversal, for posting your video, and that kind of inspired me. Thank you for Backstein for letting me know on Twitter about it. Thank you, Mr. Beast, and the rest of the guys that are putting this together. I think it's a really great cause, and I think it's always good to be charitable when you have the resources. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.